So apparently some men online think they can tell my wife to shut up, submit, or go take care of her family. So let's get something straight. If you're correcting another man's wife, you're already way out of line, pal. You know, Deena and I both have YouTube channels. We've both put ourselves out there, and we get it. We're gonna get slings and arrows, and that's fine. We made peace with that a long time ago. We knew that we'd be attacked a lot of times by just some idiot. But for some reason, the comments on her last video where she talked about the traditional Latin Mass being yanked away from all our friends and family that are still up in the Knoxville diocese, for some reason, those comments, they kind of tweaked me a little bit. So I figured, you know what, make a little cocktail, sit by the pool, relax, and I would address them. Let's just be clear here. Catholic tradition doesn't give random men authority over another man's wife. That's just hubris. Strong men don't fear virtuous women speaking out. Weak and insecure men do. And I'm seeing more and more men online telling Catholic women to shut up, submit, go away. And it's a little troubling if you want to be honest about it. So I want to speak directly to the men, especially the self-appointed hall monitors of the internet, about what real Catholic leadership looks like and why my wife speaks openly about the faith with my full blessing. You know, a man's authority ends at his own household, and that's the heart of it. Catholic teaching says that husbands are the head of their own domestic church. That means other women don't fall under their authority. So when strangers start issuing commands to another man's wife, they are way overstepping boundaries Scripture never gave them. A man who truly understands headship knows that his authority ends in the walls of his home. If you're policing another man's wife, that's pretty presumptuous, and it's haughtiness. It's not piety, guys. It's just not. Telling another woman, another married woman, to shut up and be silent is usually an indication that you can't lead the woman that's in your own life, and it's kind of, or worse, it's an indication that you may be an incel. Let me be very clear here. My wife speaks with my full permission and my encouragement, actually. I gave her permission because I trust her prudence, I trust her virtue, and I trust her fidelity. You know, a wife sharing the faith publicly is literally part of the Great Commission, guys. And Catholic tradition is full of strong, outspoken women. Look at Teresa of Avila, St. Catherine of Siena, Hildegard. I mean, doctors of the church, women that are doctors of the church, were very outspoken. I mean, in short, you know, my wife doesn't need the world's permission to speak out. She only needs my permission, and I give it to her. A secure man, a real man, is not threatened by a woman speaking out about the faith, using her gifts for the kingdom. In fact, a real man would watch it and maybe see what he could learn. There is no way that tradition is somehow a gag order on women. You know, there was one guy in her last video, he identified himself as an ex-Catholic atheist, and you know, he's so atheistic that he's still trolling Catholic channels and, you know, delving into Catholic channels, whatever. But he was one of the first ones in that comment thread on her last video about the traditional Latin Mass getting taken away in Knoxville, that told her basically to sit down and shut up. And you know, it was so obvious. He was just trolling. He was just trying to get a rise out of people, and we didn't bite. And I just want to state again, tradition has never required women to be silent. The women doctors of the church literally taught bishops, popes, and priests. Catherine of Siena literally rebuked the Pope himself, and the church canonized her. I mean, if you want to correct somebody, start with yourself. The sense of entitlement in these circumstances is just astounding to me. It blows my mind. And please hear me on this. It is not authentic Catholic masculinity to attack or try to dominate a woman he does not protect, doesn't provide for, and is not married to. That's not being a man, guys. That's not being a man. In fact, it's the opposite. And if you don't like a woman speaking online, fine. Don't tune in. Move on. But telling her to shut up when she's married to another man, she belongs to another man, that's weakness. That's I could use a few other colorful words, but let's just leave it at that. That's weakness, and it's pathetic. And if this doesn't apply to you, that's great. I think it doesn't apply to most of the people, most of the men that do watch Deena's channel, but I think it bears repeating, and I think men, real men, could still get something out of this. So I would just encourage men, you know, lead your homes, mind your households, you know, not somebody else's. Respect the authority God has given other husbands over their wives. Respect that authority. Men, protect your own homes, lead your own wives, raise your own children. Let others do the same. Let other husbands do the same with their own families. Don't try to intrude on their families. If you want more conversations on Catholic masculinity, fatherhood, and how we navigate the faith as a family, subscribe and stick around. I'm here to talk to men who actually want to build something real in the Catholic tradition. So you know what? Thanks for letting me get that off my chest. I'm going to finish my cocktail here poolside. And until next time, God bless and Padre Pio, Order Pro Nobis.